guys, welcome back to my channel. Today I'm filming a little Q&A video. It's been a little while since I have done one of these, so I thought it would be kind of fun to do one again. It's been probably a couple of months since I did my last one, and I always think these are so fun to watch, and I also like filming them. So I asked you over on YouTube on the community tab if you guys had any questions that you wanted me to answer, and there were quite a few, so I'm gonna go ahead and answer them in today's video. This video is actually supposed to be up today, but life happened. We are in the middle of a remodel right now, and it has just been crazy in this house in the last week. We started the remodel about a week ago. If you're new here, we are remodeling our upstairs. We are actually turning our extra bedroom into a bathroom and a master closet for our bedroom. So we're in the middle of that right now. It's been pretty crazy, so that's why I am super behind on YouTube and getting videos up and everything like that. But I'm finally getting around to it in today's video. I made myself a quick little smoothie. This is actually gonna be my lunch today, which I normally will have a little bit more than a smoothie, but a lot of you have been asking what I put in my smoothies. I'll try and share it in an upcoming day in the life video, but this one is blueberry, raspberry, strawberry, banana, avocado, I think that's everything I put in this one. Oh, and then Greek yogurt, vanilla Greek yogurt. And then for my liquid, I just use water usually, just because I don't want to add extra sugar and juice or anything. So that's what's in my smoothie. I'll try and share that recipe in an upcoming video though. But let's go ahead and get right into the questions. I'm just gonna go through these in the order that they were asked. The first one is, I'd love to know how you schedule your day, if you have a set wake up time or set morning or evening routine, etc. So honestly, I used to be a lot better about having a more rigid routine, especially for my morning, but lately it's just been survival. My kids get up really early. Sometimes they're up before 6, so it's really hard for me to get up before them, or I'm seriously up at 5 a.m. So I usually get up with my kids, although I will say my husband is so amazing and he will flip-flop days with me. So sometimes he will get the kids in the morning and I'll sleep in, or I'll get up and do something in the morning, get myself ready, do something YouTube related, work related. And then I will try and get that done in the morning. And then in the evening, I've definitely been taking a lot more evenings off lately. I've just been wanting to hang out with Kenny and spend a lot of time with him. But I do spend usually at least a couple evenings a week working on YouTube stuff, and then for nap time, that is usually when I will get the majority of my editing done. Right now it's nap time as I'm filming this. Easton is watching a show. He doesn't take naps anymore, so that has been a challenge. He doesn't really get screen time, but at nap time, that's kind of his thing. I will let him watch a show while Brinley's napping and I can actually get something done, because we don't have our TV on throughout the day at all unless it's his time to actually watch TV. So that's kind of what we do as far as nap time. And then for the evening, we usually will eat between 5 and 6, put the kids to bed between 7 and 7:30, and then after that we'll just hang out, relax, do our thing, or sometimes I will be working on editing and stuff like that. The next question is, what are some things you like to do in your free time? And honestly, it's mostly YouTube. I don't have a lot of free time outside of editing and stuff like that. Although I will say I really like to just relax and watch a show in the evening with Kenny. Lately, we have been watching, what is that called? Zumbos? It's Zumbo's Just Desserts. Is that what it's called on Netflix? I'll put it on the screen here. It's some baking show, and both Kenny and I really like that one, so we've been watching that a lot lately. And I've also been watching the show on Netflix lately, Married at First Sight. I found it just a couple nights ago and it's really, really good. I don't know if you guys have seen that one. I think it was originally on TLC or something, or some other type of channel. We actually do not have cable, so everything that we watch is either on Netflix or YouTube. I watch a lot of YouTube videos as well. I really like crime podcasts, cooking videos, of course, a lot of motherhood. I will say I don't watch a lot of the main mommy vloggers. I'm not into vlogging necessarily, more just content, meal prep, things like that, versus watching people's life. So that's kind of what I will watch in my free time. If you had a day without the kids, what would your ideal day consist of? Just a whole lot of relaxing. A couple of weeks ago, I did get a day completely off from the kids. I left early in the morning and I went and visited one of my best friends, which I hadn't seen her in probably, gosh, I don't even know, 6 months at least. It's been a really, really long time, so it's so nice to go catch up with her. I love shopping, eating at a nice restaurant or something, coffee, which I'm not drinking right now, but the smoothies kind of give me a little bit of energy, so I've been trying to drink more smoothies. But honestly, a day off, I would just love a lot of alone time, a lot of silence, relaxing, maybe a little bit of shopping thrown in there, and that would be a perfect day. What is a food your husband loves and you don't care for, and vice versa? So we actually like the great majority of the same foods. We definitely have a very similar palate. One thing that I tend to like more than him is Mexican food. Now he likes when I make Mexican food at home, but he doesn't really like it from a restaurant. Mostly he just doesn't like cilantro. So I like that, and he is kind of like, you know, in the middle. He's not a huge Mexican food type of person. I'm trying to think of something that he likes that I don't like. The only thing that really comes to mind is like Buffalo Wild Wings. So I like Buffalo Wild Wings. I just don't like really, really spicy food. So that's the only thing that really comes to mind, but for the most part, we really like very similar food, so it's really not an issue in our house. If you had to pick one meal to eat for the rest of your life, what would it be? That is so hard. I would probably say it has to be something chicken, because I tend to get sick of like ground beef and pork, whereas chicken I really like. Probably my baked chicken tenders, which I'm gonna be making that recipe this week. So good. I love that one. I also really like spaghetti, baked ziti, chicken parmesan. That's another really good one. It's so hard to pick one thing that I could eat for the rest of my life. I don't know. All right, next question. Top 3 favorite movies. This is hard. We don't watch a ton of movies, but some of my favorites recently in the last like couple of years, I really like Four Christmases for a Christmas movie. Another one that I like is like the Meet the Fockers and Meet the Parents, like that series I really like. I definitely like comedies, and I also like romance with a little bit of like drama in there. I'm trying to think of another one. One movie that I always loved growing up that's still fun to watch every once in a while is 13 Going on 30. That was my all-time favorite childhood movie, like from when I was a teenager, so that's still a fun one that I will watch sometimes. Next question is, how did you pick your kids' names? I think they're great names, by the way. Thank you. So our kids' names are Easton and Brinley, if you don't know, and we actually picked both of their names, just kind of their names that we liked. There really was no rhyme or reason to either of them, but we did wait to name them until we actually saw them and we actually saw what they looked like. So for Easton, we actually waited until I think it was the second day to actually give him a name. The first day of his birth was extremely traumatic. I'm sure most of you do not know that birth story, but if you want to hear it, let me know in the comments. Maybe I'll talk about it sometime. It was really crazy the whole first day. We actually did not get to see him or really hold him until it was like early the next morning. It was a whole situation, but once everything was cleared up, we actually named him. But we had about 6 names. They were all boy names. We did know that he was a boy, and he just looked like an Easton. We knew that was going to be his name. We just kind of waited until that second day to name him after all of the chaos subsided. And then for Brinley, it was a little bit different. So we did not actually know that she was a girl until she was born. We decided to have a surprise ginger baby. So we had both boy names and girl names that we liked. So when she was born, my husband ended up kind of picking her name. He had such a hard time with girl names. He just did not like any of the girl names, like even ones that he couldn't find any that he liked. So he pretty much just picked a girl name off of my list, and that was the one he chose. So that is how Brinley ended up with her name. Next question is, what do you miss most about pre-pandemic life? And that is honestly just like going out, seeing people, not having to think about like, should I give this person a hug? Should I not? Just that like weird, you know, it's just so awkward because everyone is handling everything so differently. In general, we are trying to be as safe as possible. We are still seeing like close friends and family, but we are trying to be careful. I also really miss like taking my kids into the stores with me. I used to always take my kids grocery shopping, and now I just do grocery pickup. I'm fine going to the store, but I just try not to take my kids in there because they're like, you know, trying to like shopping carts and whatnot. I just figure, you know, it's not that safe. So those are the things that I kind of miss, but mostly just like seeing people and going out and like being social and doing things like that. Next question is, do you think you will go back to working as a nurse when your children are older? If yes, what area interests you? You seem like you would be great in pediatrics or geriatrics. So those are actually the 2 things that I would definitely consider doing. I'm honestly not sure if I'm going to go back to work as a nurse or not. I would like to say yes, but I have to be honest and say that when I was working as a nurse, I was so stressed out. As a very like anxious person, it made me so stressed because I would go home, I wouldn't be able to sleep. I would always be like questioning what I did, and it was just a really stressful time. So my first job was actually in a nursing home, and I was put as charge nurse a lot, which was fine, but I was a brand new graduate nurse, and obviously there's a ton that you need to learn on the job. So it was just, I felt so much pressure, and I also did not like asking questions. So it's just a very awkward, hard situation to be in, but I would love to try going back to nursing. I think I would like to start off in the hospital this time though, because I feel like I really missed that experience and like that background. So that's definitely where I'd want to start. And then if I were to stay in the hospital, I would love to eventually do OB. That's definitely my dream as a nurse. The only thing is like the shifts in a hospital are just so difficult. Another area that I definitely love is home care. So I actually did home care as a home health aide when I was like in college going to nursing school, and I loved it. I love home health care. It was definitely one of my favorite things that I've done. So that's definitely another area that I would consider doing. I did actually have a job offer as a home health nurse. I got that job offer after I had taken my job at the nursing home, and I kind of wish I would have went with the home care instead, but I had already taken that other job. So that's kind of how I ended up at the nursing home. I would love to go back one day. It kind of just depends on everything going on in our life, how many kids we have. I feel like if I do go back, I'm definitely gonna have to take a refresher course. I'm gonna be really rusty on everything because obviously I haven't done anything nursing related in quite a few years now. Next question is, do you drink alcohol? If so, what kind of drinks do you like? So yes, I do drink alcohol, but it's honestly not very often at all. I would say maybe like once a month or once every other month. It's pretty rare. I usually will only drink if we have people over. Same with my husband. He is not a big drinker. We pretty much will only drink if people come over for game night, and then it's usually only one drink. We're definitely not big drinkers at all. If I am going to have something to drink, it's usually something very sweet, very fruity. I really like wine. I like any sort of Moscato wine, so it obviously has to be a sweeter wine. I also like any sort of really sweet fruity beverage like Mike's Hard Lemonade, Kinky, just any of those really sweet drinks. Twisted tea is really good. I like White Claws, things like that. I'm definitely not a beer drinker. I don't like mixed drinks. I don't like anything strong where you can taste the alcohol. But I do drink alcohol, but it's not very often. I'm not a huge fan, and neither is my husband. So we do drink on occasion, but it's definitely more on the rare side. Next question is, I know your kids are still toddlers, but so far has your boy been easier or your girl, and why? So honestly, they've both been just different. Raising a boy and a girl has been extremely different for me. Their pregnancies were different. My son is very rowdy. My daughter is very sassy. I think I would have to say that our daughter has been a little bit harder, and it's just because she's so sassy. And I don't know if it's a girl thing. I don't know if it's the fact that she's our second kid and she will sometimes see Easton talking back. But definitely I feel like our daughter has been a little bit harder than our son, and mostly because she's just very sassy, screechy, screamy. I don't know, she's just been a little bit harder than our son has been. I also feel like they both just feed off of each other. Our daughter is 1.5, and then our son is just about to turn 3, and they just like feed off of each other. When one is screaming, the other one screams, and it can just be a very loud household a lot of times. But in general, I think our daughter has been a little bit harder. Next question is, what time do you eat dinner and what time do you usually go to bed? So we usually eat dinner between 5 to 6, but there definitely are nights where I will just like give the kids leftovers, give the kids whatever I want to give them. And sometimes I'll just cook dinner for Kenny and I later on. We'll do a date night, or sometimes I just don't have like the mental capacity to cook dinner and film it with a screaming kids in the background. So sometimes I'm just like, you know what, I'm gonna cook for Kenny and I after the kids are in bed, because they go to bed at 7. So sometimes I do that. I would say like once a week I probably do that. Other than that though, we usually eat between 5 and 6. Logistics aside, what is your choice of vacation? Disney World with the kids or Las Vegas with just you and your husband? Definitely Disney World with the kids. We actually are not into gambling at all, so I think Vegas would be a little bit more of a wasted trip for us. We've actually been to Vegas and we did not go to any of the casinos or anything. We did a little bit of sightseeing and that was really fun, but I think it would be so fun to take the kids to Disney World. We definitely want to do that in a couple of years. Once our kids are just a little bit older and they can enjoy it more, I would love to take a Disney vacation. Next question, do you keep in contact with any friends from high school or college? And I do. I have a couple of really close friends from high school. One of them I've been friends with since first grade, and we've kept in touch through all these years, all these moves, all the changes in our life. So she's one person I will always stay in contact with. She's like my best friend. She's the type of person that we can go a long time without talking and we just pick up right where we left off, and it's just that kind of relationship. Love her to death. She's so sweet. I think I covered all of the questions, so that's gonna be it for today's video. I hope that you guys all enjoyed it. If you like seeing these videos, definitely let me know down in the comments if you'd like to see more of these Q&A videos in the future. I do like making them. I think it's really fun to get to kind of chit chat with you guys since I don't get to do that on a lot of a regular basis. But I hope you're all doing well and staying safe, and I will catch you all in my next video. Thanks so much for watching. Bye.
As a young girl, the fields were mine. We played hide and seek for hours, raised our shadows among the pines. So offshore, playful and free, without a care.